Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Duology Theater was made possible by producer Nolan Matten. Thank you, Nolan. It was also made possible by contributions from listeners like you. This is the last month of Duology Theater.
Oh man, what a time we've had.
I know. Let's take a moment to think back of all the laughs we shared.
Yeah.
Guys, my name is David Bell.
My name is Tom Ryman.
Yeah, you I'm sure you all know that, right?
But at this point, I hope so.
You know what we're doing here? Do you know what we are set out to accomplish here today? We're watching duologies, movie duologies.
Yeah.
And then talking about them. And if you remember, last month was Tron and Tron Legacy. So we decided to continue that like 4-letter movie title tradition. And we are now, I guess is our final month, doing C.H.U.D.
Hell yeah, we are.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking C.H.U.D.
Holy shit.
Fuck you. This is C.H.U.D.
What year is this? This is like 1980.
1984.
I'm going to say, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is 1984's C.H.U.D., directed by Douglas Cheek, by screenplay by Parnell Hall and Shepard Abbott. Shepard has a story by credit, which I do want to talk about, Tom, because I looked into the making of C.H.U.D.
Oh shit!
It is something. There is something to talk about. There is a
tale.
Yeah, this had a budget about $1.2 million. It was it box office has it at $4 million, almost $5 million, but it was generally considered a flop and then a cult classic.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine why they would have ever expected this to make a ton of money.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of interesting stuff behind the scenes. Had you seen C.H.U.D. before?
I don't think so.
Neither had I.
Parts of it felt vaguely familiar, and it seemed like a movie I might have watched when I was littler somehow,
right,
at like a friend's house or something. But
I'm gonna ask you, do you think this movie meant anything?
No.
Okay. Because here's what's interesting I thought about this movie. The first thing that came to mind, and by the way, the director agrees with you. This movie was not made to mean anything.
Oh, it's pretty clear by the way that the movie treats the homeless people in it.
Yeah, but it was interesting that this is about, well, these cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers who were, I think, homeless people?
Yes.
That got mutated by a big nuclear regulation.
By government goo.
This is a real EPA as the bad guy situation. Because the bad guy is the Nuclear Regulatory Committee, isn't it?
Sort of. He's a guy claiming to be from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission,
right,
and it's just the government is just storing toxic waste down there.
Yes. And
so
boy, that guy...
I don't think the EPA is the bad guy, because the EPA are the people that go down there to check.
The bad guy in this is in it to win it.
He really is. He's all in, baby.
I didn't think he would be the climax is dealing with him,
right? And not the C.H.U.Ds. We sort of forget about the C.H.U.Ds in the last 15 minutes. They just
really
go away.
Do.
Like the bad guy doesn't get eaten by the C.H.U.Ds, which I thought was really disappointing. It's like, well, obviously he needs to get his head pulled off by a C.H.U.D.
What did you think of this movie?
This movie has I can understand why this movie is a cult classic. It's got a lot going for it. It's got a pretty bitchin' soundtrack.
It's got John Hurt and Daniel Stern.
Yeah. John Goodman randomly popping up as a nameless cop. And it's got some decent gore effects.
Yep.
But it's kind of boring.
Yes. it was hard to concentrate. I actually started looking up the making of it while watching it because I got bored with the movie.
Yeah.
It's just somewhat slow. I brought up the meaning though because this movie did have one cultural significant moment recently, which was being featured in the opening to the movie Us.
Yeah, all the VHSs that you see in that opening scene relate to the plot of the film somewhat.
Well, I wanted to talk about that because the significance of C.H.U.D in that movie is kind of huge because I didn't know this movie's about these creatures and they affect the homeless population first. So one of the first people who notices is Daniel Stern, who's works at a soup kitchen.
He runs a soup kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, and so part of it is about how it doesn't get noticed until a upper class woman with her dog gets killed.
Yeah, specifically the police captain's wife.
And it caused me to realize that Us, I think when we talked about Us, we talked about it being it felt like about incarceration or something like that. It's really about, I think it's very focused on homelessness because it occurred to me that Hands Across America was a charity for homelessness.
Oh, yeah.
As well. And that's in Us. And then the movie C.H.U.D, it all kind of came together. It clicked in my head. That was oh, okay. Us is kind of like what C.H.U.D seemed like it was going to do and then didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of talk about these people who are in the, literally living underground who are forgotten about.
Right, yeah, they're human beings who are literally living in sewers and subway tunnels.
Yeah, but as you said, this movie doesn't exactly treat homeless people.
Completely forgets about them. They're just a plot device to set up the monsters.
Yeah, which again plays into why the director, because someone asked the director in an interview, they're like, did you know there was going to be were you intending on having a social message? And he was like, nope.
There is no
social or political agenda.
No, yeah, none of the homeless people are rescued in point of fact, the only one we know really, Mrs. Monroe, just gets unceremoniously shoved over and then they just leave her.
Right.
This movie does not care about homeless people.
No. Then there's the guy who screams that you go by the name of being alive and you are dead. I like that line.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to scream that at people often from now on.
Yep. All sides of the throne are surrounded by 4 creatures or something.
Yeah. Because, my first note of this movie, I was like, is this about class struggle?
Nope.
And then, I forgot that note entirely.
No, it is not.
Yeah. Should we, I guess, I don't think most people have seen C.H.U.D.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's included with Amazon Prime, so you can, if you have a Prime account, you can just watch it.
Okay, it is available to you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what it sounds like. It's the opening is a woman getting killed with her dog.
Yep, just getting dragged right the fuck into the sewer.
Yeah, we meet our characters. John Hurd. I forget the name of his character.
Cooper.
Mm-hmm. And then I remember the cop named Bosch because that's a cop show.
Yeah, they also say his name 1,000 times.
Well, it's a fun name to say.
Yeah, like in the first scene where he goes to talk to Daniel Stern probably says the name Bosch 12 times in that sequence.
Yeah. And I like to think of this as a prequel to the show,
well,
the TV show.
Maybe, because Bosch dies.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. Did he? Okay, well, maybe I missed that. I thought it was ambiguous because he gets shot.
It's a little ambiguous, but
yeah, I thought he was going to pull through.
He seems pretty dead at the end.
He's dead-esque, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And can you guess what he's killed by? It's not a C.H.U.D.
It's not a C.H.U.D.
Who? Okay.
He gets shot in the back by Wilson, the villainous Nuclear Regulatory Commission guy.
Fuck is this movie?
Yeah.
I also noticed that the chief was named Chief O'Brien, which I couldn't let go.
Hell yeah.
So there's Bosch and Chief O'Brien.
Not letting go of that.
No. Yeah, it's basically it's pretty straightforward, right? It
sort of. There's a bit of mystery at the beginning because it's clear the cops know something is going on and he's being instructed by his higher ups not to say anything, not to make any public statements about it. There's been a whole lot of people going missing over the past few weeks.
Can you guess who the producer who was putting this film together, what screenwriter he had like discussions of right at the beginning? Not to write it, as almost like a consultant, because he had the script based on the movie you watched.
No.
It was Dan O'Bannon, the writer of Alien.
Sure.
Which, when you think about it, this movie is kind of similar. It has Jaws. It's Jaws-esque and it's Alien-esque.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, of course, what they were going for.
Yeah.
Because you don't see the C.H.U.D very much at first.
Really at all?
No, and they have a Geiger counter. And the idea was the Geiger counter would be used for horror effect. Mm-hmm. Kind of like the barrels in Jaws.
Yeah, and the motion sensor in Alien.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't quite pull it off. And like, just like Alien, there's this underlying
He drops the Geiger counter pretty early. Like I thought he was going to keep it longer to keep that game going. Yeah, it was weird that they did that.
But there's like you said, there's this other plot where like the corporation or the city or the
mm-hmm.
the higher ups are in on it, or at least they know that they caused the C.H.U.D.
Yeah. Whoop. Uh-oh. What happened? We fucked up and made C.H.U.D s. We made C.H.U.D s.
C.H.U.D.
We made fucking C.H.U.D s. God damn it.
John Hurd plays a photographer?
Yeah.
And I don't know the actress's name, but his wife or girlfriend in it is a model, and they get involved too because John Hurd is friends with a homeless woman, right?
Well, he took photos for a story that was about her and her brother and their friend, and like her brother goes missing, I think.
Yeah.
And then he like can't find her.
Right. By the way, 2 Home Alone actors in this.
I know.
We got
that was not lost on me.
Yeah. And so like he starts realizing something's up, and then Bosch gets involved because the spoilers, it's his wife who died at the beginning.
Yes.
So he's walking around the shitty ass police station.
Every building is a fucking trash heap in this movie.
The police station looks like a fucking school basement. It's like sickly green and too
mm-hmm.
small. Yeah, this was shot in New York during a heat wave, which caused many of the C.H.U.D s to pass out.
I can imagine. Also, everyone in this movie is drenched in sweat.
Yeah. Daniel Stern looks like he's perfect. He looks like such a maniac.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when John Hurd bails Mrs. Monroe, the homeless woman, out of jail, they send Bosch sends a guy to follow him, and that guy steps outside. It clearly wasn't the first take. The guy steps outside, and his armpits are already soaked completely through his shirt. Like, it was so noticeable.
Yeah, luckily for the C.H.U.D s, this was an official film, meaning like they went through the unions and everything. So like the C.H.U.D s were taken care of on set, which is nice to hear.
Yeah.
Like they had AC units and, were being, but like it was apparently a heat wave in New York. If you're going to be a C.H.U.D, yeah, it's gonna affect you. Yeah, everybody is fucking sweaty as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's disgusting. I do never want to smell this set.
No, I could smell it just watching the movie, man. This movie looked uncomfortable to make at every possible level.
It really did.
Yeah.
And so, Bosch is trying to find out what happened to his wife. So he's like investigating the homeless population. He meets up with Daniel Stern.
Mm-hmm.
There's the little girl watches her fucking
granddad,
her
grandfather, just get
C.H.U.D
right out of a phone booth.
Because the C.H.U.D are running out of food in the sewer. They've worked through most of the homeless population, so now they're coming closer to the surface.
Mm-hmm. They're doing, and then towards the end of the movie, they just do a straight up raid on that diner.
Yeah, they do. They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
Because why not? They're C.H.U.D.
Yeah, they're C.H.U.D s. What are you going to do?
What do they want? I guess we'll find this out in the sequel.
They want food.
The sequel, by the way, that we can look forward to is C.H.U.D 2, Bud the C.H.U.D.
Bud the C.H.U.D. I saw that.
So I assume C.H.U.D, there's a C.H.U.D named Bud. I assume it's going to be like...
a gnome named Norm?
Yeah. No, I'm reading the synopsis now, and it definitely is like teenagers team up with a C.H.U.D. It's not going to be...
that I'm going to hate that.
It's not going to be good.
Oh, man. What is it, PG-13?
Oh, let me look.
If it's PG-13, I'm not watching it.
Well, you have to.
We're only doing one episode of this duology if it's PG-13.
I don't see the rating for this. I'm looking at the director. Boy. The director has not made movies I know about. He made the 1988 Sleeping Beauty with Morgan Fairchild.
Sure.
I mean, that's one of the things. We usually like section off like, oh, here's where we talk about the making of. I figure I'll sprinkle it out throughout, but like the director and writer of this haven't done anything.
Too bad. The visionaries forces behind C.H.U.D didn't have long
the visionaries
careers.
Behind C.H.U.D. I think the producer that this interview is, I believe, is Andrew Bonamy.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason it seems that way is because there was a falling out between this producer and the director later. And the producer's version of pre-production of this movie, it sounds like the producer had a real nightmare because he got the script for C.H.U.D. He didn't want to read it. And the reason why he didn't want to read it is because it was sloppy and didn't conform to screenwriting conventions, as he puts it.
Sure.
Meaning that whoever wrote it didn't know how to write a screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
And the writer that he's talking about didn't write anything else. And so then when he finally read it, he was like, this is a good idea, but there's, it needs a lot of rewrites. And then he said that the rewriting process was really terrible. It would show up late. Instead of a rewrite, they'd often just cross out lines and handwrite other things and notes in the margins. So it was like the producer seemed really bothered with the unprofessionalism going on, and the producer wanted to direct. And what happened is they got our heroes on there. They got John Hurt and Daniel Stern, and the only way they got them is they wanted another actor brought on, Christopher Curry,
mm-hmm.
and they wanted the director. And it turns out that this movie, most of it is made amongst friends. The screenwriter, Daniel Stern, Christopher Curry, the director, and Hurd, they were all like buddies. Okay. So they had a blast, and the producer appeared to be miserable. They all hated the producer, according to the director. There was like a falling out. And the producer was in charge of figuring out what the C.H.U.D s would be. And the director originally wanted the C.H.U.D s to be very quick and agile and more makeup-based and more humanoid. And then the producer did not do that, and they got these fucking C.H.U.D s.
Yeah. These fucking radioactive eyeball gremlins.
Right, which is actually partially Dan O'Bannon, the Alien writer, his fault. He helped him figure out the look, and he got him in touch with a comic book artist named Tim Boxall.
Mm-hmm.
And what's very interesting about that is I looked up this guy. He is the inspiration for the Chestburster, his comics.
Oh, wow.
So it all comes together. And Tim Boxall made a bunch of concept art for C.H.U.D, and then they showed it to the makeup design guy, and he was like, look, we don't have much money. We can't do this.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen, I've got $1,000 to make this C.H.U.D.
What is this? What the fuck are you making here? It was, what's his name? John Caglione. He did he's worked on a lot. He has a career.
Good for John Caglione.
Oh yeah, I think he worked on Dick Tracy. Yeah, he was makeup department on Dick Tracy.
Oh hell yeah, all the C.H.U.D should have looked like Flat Top.
I know. The Dark Knight.
Missed opportunity there.
Yeah,
just a bunch of flat tops running around in the sewer eating people.
That would be amazing. Are you kidding me? Here's an interesting thing I'm noticing about this guy. I don't know why I'm digging into this.
Mm-hmm.
He appears to be exclusively Al Pacino's makeup artist. I don't know what's going on with Al Pacino.
That's pretty fascinating. I gotta have this guy.
He did Paterno and The Irishman, and I could have sworn. Oh yeah, he did Insomnia. What's going on? What's wrong with Al Pacino that he needs this guy to?
Is Al Pacino a chud?
Maybe he's a chud.
He might be a chud.
Oh my God, Hunters. He's makeup artist to Al Pacino on Hunters. Phil Spector.
What's going on?
Al Pacino. You don't know Jack?
What's happening?
Angels in America.
What are you doing?
Recruit. Gigli.
Gigli, but yeah.
Whatever, man. I don't respect that enough to know its name. Yeah, this guy is John Caglione, the special effects artist.
Al Pacino's personal makeup artist.
Yep. He also did Poltergeist 3.
Oh, man.
Basket Case, Friday the 13th Part 2. Like horror movie. It's horror movies and
Al Pacino's face.
What the fuck is happening?
The chipped axe that is Al Pacino's face.
What is this rabbit hole we're going down?
I don't know. I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what this means. He makes me look good.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh,
so yeah,
what the fuck is going on?
I don't know. This world doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh shit.
So basically, they ended up making some masks and some arms, and then they would take the chuds and stuff their suits.
Right. Yeah, because most of them are clothes. Yeah, most of them are wearing people clothes.
Yeah, which I think was made because that and the Geiger counter and a lot of the beginning kills, it's like an arm here and there, maybe a shot of a face.
Yeah, I don't believe you see a chud from the waist down.
Yeah. Oh, there's a wide shot of them all.
Well, but it's far away, and it's like
that's true.
And it's like they're like worshiping the waist,
right.
just really frolicking in nuclear goo.
Right. So yeah, that was the producer's contribution, is the chuds.
Mm-hmm.
The rest.
Remember when the chud's neck started getting longer for no reason?
Yeah, the director's doesn't like that. He talks about it. He's like, I don't know why we did that.
I don't know why you did that either, man.
Well, okay, I do actually know why they did it. According to these interviews, it was because they were like, well, they can't just stand there. That was their reasoning, which was like they were originally thinking they would do the alien jaws thing, where their jaws would extend, and they were like, well, they did that in Alien. I don't know, let's make their necks get longer. That's the extent of thought that
why?
They put. Yeah, well, if you're gonna eat something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want a longer neck.
No, I want the shortest neck possible. It's the most efficient.
Here's what I'm gonna. Okay, maybe it's because since they are underground dwellers, they need to get food that's up high, like giraffes, so their necks extend. But since they're in sewers, they still need to be short, too. So they evolved.
No.
Nope.
No? No, none of that. None of that's true.
It's how they dig their faces in that shower.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
I liked it.
I mean, it was
the shower scene.
It was a nice payoff, but outside of it, that doesn't make any sense.
No. Yeah, the scene we're talking about, the main actress gets naked, but not our naked.
No, not for us. She just gets into the shower.
Yeah, they specifically talk about that in the making of, where they didn't want to be creeps. They were like, we wanted her to be vulnerable, but we didn't. This wasn't about boobs. This scene.
That's
my
fair.
words, not theirs. But
right,
and so the idea is she gets in the shower and the shower drain clogs, and she sticks something in there.
She sticks a hanger in there to try to dig out the clog, and it just shotguns blood into her face.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Nope, don't know.
Was Toombs in there?
I guess. I'll tell you what wasn't in her fucking 2-centimeter drain pipe was a goddamn chud.
Right, because it implies that that there's a chud down there.
Right, it implies that there's a chud in her tiny ass drain pipe.
How do drains work? Because I don't think it. I think it's tiny for a while, right?
I don't know. I think
that
so.
Drain doesn't immediately lead into a giant chud-sized pipe. That's all I know.
mean, it would at the very least, it's going to be the same size pipe because she's on the second floor of a building.
You're right.
It's going to be the same size pipe throughout at least the whole building.
Yeah. So no, I think that was an unrelated problem.
Right.
Like someone's hamster.
Yeah, like some rat. Just some
Yeah.
rat drowned in there.
Because I'm desperately trying to think of what that means. Okay.
It's just a horror gag, but like I said, outside of it, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, here's my pitch.
Okay. Did he get his long neck stuck in the pipe?
No, I think a chud died horribly or like coughed up something, and it slowly, this chunk made its way through the sewer system. So it's like a baseball-sized piece of chud that she pokes. That's the most sense it can make, right?
I think so. Like, well, maybe chuds throw up pellets, like owl pellets.
Oh yeah.
Maybe she poked a chud pellet.
A chud pellet. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Their eyes were done with reflective tape and a beam splitter, which is kind of cool.
Oh,
like
yeah.
their eyes weren't. I mean, I guess this is pretty obvious. They weren't like visual effects done after the fact.
Oh no, you could tell they were actually lighting up within the mask.
Yeah. Well, sort of. They were
actually, yeah, they were reflecting light from out. That's right. You just told
because
us.
they couldn't put a bunch of fucking lights in the mask. It's a cool idea.
Right. Again, costume designers like, look, man, I have $1,000. I don't know how much you want me
I can
to
afford
do.
Tape. Would you like some tape on their eyes?
We can get some reflective tape.
Yeah. My God.
I got cannibal fangs, and I can paint this pumpkin head green.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll get some monster hands. We can get some monster hands from the costume store.
Yeah. It seems like a real nightmare to make. Daniel Stern remembers very fondly because he did it all with his friends that he finagled to cut beyond the film. Which, when you think about it, if you got Daniel Stern pull, because he worked for Scale.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and so did John Hurd. So like, it was clear they're like, we got this movie. It's called C.H.U.D. You want to be in it? And they're like, look, are you gonna pay me a lot? And they're like, no, not at all. And it's like, okay, then I want all my friends. And it's like, fine, man. Like, I want this to just be a fun summer with my friends where I'm dressed like a hobo, running around shooting at assholes in rubber masks.
Yep.
That's what he got.
Listen, do you want to be in a movie called C.H.U.D? I will do whatever it takes to be in C.H.U.D.
Yeah. They got to bring back C.H.U.D.
Yeah.
Where are we on the plot? So we talked about the shower. I mean, who can fucking say this movie? They get trapped in the sewer. There's C.H.U.Ds. They kill
it kind of
John
goes
Goodman.
It kind of goes a little Emmerich for a minute because there's a couple of different characters and they're all kind of having separate-ish storylines, and they're eventually going to connect, and they do because they all eventually get stuck in the sewer. Well, John Hurd and Daniel Stern get stuck separately in the sewer,
right?
And then they meet up
because the nuclear guy, right?
Yeah,
he does that.
Yeah,
he also sends that guy to eat Daniel Stern's coin.
Yeah, that was a weird flex.
It's a power move.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to shit that out later.
Yep. Also, I wouldn't take a coin out of a New York City payphone and put it in my mouth.
No. Yeah, this is like peak dirty New York.
It really looks like a garbage heap in this movie. I mean, to be fair, we're spending a lot of time. Yeah, we're spending a lot of time
in the sewers.
But
that is a power move. Yeah, Daniel Stern goes to make, I forget who he's calling, but someone that, like the press or something.
Yeah.
And he sends the nuclear guy sends like this, like, I don't know, real alt-right looking fucker.
Right, he's a real Ryan Gosling prototype.
Yes, he's got Gosling. He's got that Gosling smirk.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes the coin out and just puts it in his mouth. And like, it's weird because it's like, if I were Daniel Stern, I'd be like, hey, drop it.
Yeah, drop
and, like,
it.
try to pull it out.
Grab him
but
by
like,
the
just
jaw.
get another coin. Or like, is he going to keep eating your coins? Play that game.
Yeah, play that
See
game.
if that's...
Yeah.
It's a weird power play because it's not dignified.
No, but it's so like, because the scene goes on for a few seconds after that, because Daniel Stern just kind of stares like bewilderedly at him for several seconds. Because what else do you do? That's such a strange thing to do.
Yeah, it really throws him off.
Right,
like,
yeah. Like that would fucking sweep your legs right out from under you.
It's still like a really, really weird way, because the guy is supposed to be like a Secret Service type.
Something, yeah. Some kind of government spook.
He's like a respectable authority. Like, he could just arrest this guy, it feels like.
Maybe, unless he's like a murderer or something.
Yeah. But it's just a super, like, it's a real bananas way to do this.
Yeah, it's like psychological warfare. like my brain would reboot if that happened to me. I'd be like, what the fuck just happened?
I wouldn't assume that guy worked for the nuclear regulatory guy. I would assume he was just a maniac on the streets.
Right.
I would be like, do you need something to eat?
I think this guy might stab me.
Yeah, which I guess is why it's a good power play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I once ate a guy's business card right in front of him.
Yeah.
Not as a power play, really, but it turned into one.
Mm-hmm.
It worked.
It's a pretty strong flex, man. That's like taking the coin out of a payphone and putting it in your mouth.
Yeah. He was a party planner. And he was like, "Oh, you're interested in writing? Here, take my card. I'm a party planner." And it was like, "Yeah, that helps me. Thanks."
That's relevant.
That's really relevant.
Yeah. So listen, I'm going to eat this.
I'm going to eat your business card in front of you. He did not enjoy it. He did not find it funny. He was like kind of bummed, and I felt bad because he was like, "Oh man, I paid for those. You could have just given me it back." But he could have used his party planning money.
Yeah, man.
To make more.
Sure.
Yeah. Jeez, what else happens in this movie?
I don't know, who can say?
Commission guy, yada 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 yada. The climax, and then nuclear commission guy tries to run over Daniel Stern and gets exploded in a truck.
Yeah, because Daniel Stern takes Bosch's gun from his supposedly lifeless corpse.
Yeah,
and then just fucking shoots the bad guy dead behind
takes
the wheel of this van.
It becomes like an action scene where he's like shooting at the car, and the guy's like driving forward, and then finally he gets one lucky shot right into the guy's sternum.
Yeah, and it one tire enters the manhole.
Yeah.
It just kind of bounces into the manhole, and then the entire van explodes.
What was in the van?
I don't know. There's a brief line earlier where we hear the EPA guy or whatever, the NRC guy say, the bottoms of these trucks are rigged to explode, and that's all they say.
Why?
They don't say why.
Yeah, their plan is to gas the C.H.U.D.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to close the manhole covers and put a gas in. And I guess that's their backup plan, is just like park these over the C.H.U.D.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
they
had the vans parked on top of the manholes, so.
Yeah. Would have been cool if he crashes, and then instead of it immediately exploding, it cuts to a C.H.U.D. smoking a cigarette, and it coolly flicks the cigarette at the truck. And then they all go home with the C.H.U.D.
Right.
Like as their friend.
Yeah, like the C.H.U.D.'s hanging out now.
Yeah. It's so weird that the C.H.U.D. Do they even kill all the C.H.U.D.?
It's unclear.
It's unclear. The C.H.U.D. aren't the big problem.
No, the C.H.U.D. disappear from the movie for the final 15 minutes.
Imagine Aliens if Burke was the final villain.
Right. If 15 minutes from the end of the film, we just don't see any aliens for the last 20 minutes, and it's just them having to fight Burke.
That's pretty much what this is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I thought I had like skipped a part. I thought there was something wrong.
No. No. I mean, there's something wrong, but not with anything you did.
Right. Yeah, what are doesn't the woman chop off the head of a C.H.U.D. at one point?
She does. Yeah, that's the last C.H.U.D. we see.
That's the last C.H.U.D. Right. That's why I felt like I was going crazy, because that felt like it was a lead up to a big a C.H.U.D. showdown.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, obviously, if your movie is about cannibalistic humanoid underdwellers, you would think they would factor into the climax somehow.
Right.
And they absolutely do not.
They 100% don't. The main villain of C.H.U.D. aren't the C.H.U.D. Yeah, and we barely mentioned John Goodman. That was That was new. That was new and weird. Apparently, he's also a friend. Like, that's why he's in it, because they're like, oh, let's get John Goodman in here.
Yeah.
You know, we know John Goodman.
He just appears.
Yeah. Does he die? He dies, right?
Yeah. But this is another weird thing about C.H.U.D, is that every C.H.U.D death occurs off screen. Every C.H.U.D attack is off screen.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they could afford much.
No, they couldn't. I mean, there's some nice gore in when they stumble upon the aftermath of that team that gets ripped apart, but like,
right,
we don't see a single C.H.U.D attack.
I forgot they do the cameras, right? They do like a Predator 2 situation.
Yeah, like kind of an alien thing.
Yeah, this movie it's every trick in the book to not show the monsters.
Yes.
And sometimes it's effective. Other times it feels very obvious. Like for the first half of the movie, all you know of the C.H.U.D is a single rubber arm.
Yeah.
That just keeps coming out. And you're like, there's that arm.
Oh, no.
Get him.
Here comes the arm again. Watch out for that arm, lady.
Yeah. Eventually they have the C.H.U.D for the end. But then it's again, Steffler, it's like tricks. It's, we're watching these people with cameras.
Yeah. It was,
and they get attacked.
Yeah. It was kind of disappointing as a monster movie, because it's like, I understand not showing the monster and using it sparingly, but it's like, you know, once we're gearing up towards the end of the movie, like, let me see the goddamn monster.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like, let me see the monster twist somebody's head off.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Why didn't he rip the NRC guy's head from his shoulders? Like Mortal Kombat style.
I think if they had gone with the director's idea of having the C.H.U.D more humanoid and more makeup effects, one imagines they could do that.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It seems like there was a big rift between this one producer and the rest. So I don't want to take sides on this C.H.U.D debate.
In this C.H.U.D debacle?
Yeah. But I feel like that producer, he maybe should have relented. Because I think the producer had very lofty goals for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, he immediately talked to the guy who made Alien. And he talks about Jaws and stuff. So I think that was the idea. Is they wanted C.H.U.D to be the next Alien. They wanted it to be like a horror movie. Like a legit horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is it's called C.H.U.D. And like C.H.U.D is a dumb name. And it's a B-movie plot. And like you talk to the director, and the director is like, oh yeah, it was just fun. Mm-hmm. And the screenwriter was like, yeah, we were just having fun. And like everybody was just having fun because they were making a piece of shit B-movie for laughs, you know, that could be fun. But then they tried to make like suspense and tension in it too, I feel like. They didn't know how seriously. The director says they cut out a lot of jokes in the final cut. Like the Bonamy, the producer, took over the editing of C.H.U.D after the director delivered his cut and cut out a lot of the jokes and crazy humor, and it made it more serious.
That's a weird decision to make for a movie called C.H.U.D.
Exactly. So I think that what we're looking at is that there was a fundamental difference in opinion of how this movie should be within the production, mm-hmm. which is that some people were like, this is a fun fucking movie. It's just gore and fun. And someone else was like, no, this is tension and like serious. And I think that's why C.H.U.D is a cult classic as opposed to a classic. Yeah,
this could have been, it seems like the filmmakers were thinking more Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
And then this producer comes on, and he's like, nah, we got to make it good.
Right.
It's like, well, there's a ceiling here. It's
C.H.U.D.
There's a ceiling here.
Yeah. You're never gonna make an amazing. You're not in the award. In the Oscar goes to C.H.U.D.
No,
like you're never gonna hear that.
It's not gonna happen, man. You're not gonna make Jaws. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's okay. You have like $1 million and like some sewers and Daniel Stern.
Yeah, go nuts.
And like that's not a bad combination of things to have.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a C.H.U.D with that.
Yeah. They did. They did make a C.H.U.D with that.
They did make a C.H.U.D with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Fascinating film is my final thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
No, by no means. I just thought it was kind of boring.
Yeah. I think it's a solid background movie.
Yeah. I'd put C.H.U.D on.
Yeah. I'd put C.H.U.D on.
Doing some fucking thing. Like.
Right. And like C.H.U.D C.H.U.D 2 can only get better, right?
Well,
it's a 1989 film. You'll be happy to know it's R-rated.
oh, good.
Yeah, because I think they must have known. Oh man, I'm looking at pictures. Oh. Holy shit. I think Bud, the Chud, is played by like a guy. Like, you know how there's oh no. You know how there's like briefly shots of, I think it's more like how the Chuds were supposed to look. Like it's a guy in what looks like zombie makeup. I see here a shot of him eating a fish, like a live fish.
Sure, why not?
Like, I think we're going to have a real Encino Man situation on our hands. I'm not certain here. I don't know. I'm just looking at stills, and it's just this one guy making like a face. Making like the same face with like
man, he's acting. He's acting.
Like he kind of
process.
looks like Edward from Twilight in some of these shots with like pale skin. And it's comedy, horror, sci-fi. Who plays Bud? Let's see here. I'm looking. Bud the Chud. Garrett Graham. He was in Child's Play 2.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. He let's see. He was in Star Trek Voyagers. He was in Gargoyles. He was the voice of Guardian in Gargoyles.
Sure.
And he plays Bud the Chud. Yeah, this is gonna be, boy. He's in Chopping Mall.
I feel like this is gonna be a real piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean. What else is it like? It's certainly not going to be good, right? Okay,
well, no, it's a sequel to Chud.
Do you think it'll be better or worse than Chud?
I predict it will be worse than Chud.
I agree. I think the issue with this movie is it's going to be trying to be funny, and I bet you it's just not going to be funny. That's my guess. It is. Oh, wow. It's from the writer of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the writers of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is the guy the guy who made Reanimator.
It's not him. It's Ed Naha.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not him.
He was probably brought on when the guy who made the Reanimator, they read his script and they're like, what? No.
Yeah.
What is this? This guy is okay. Okay, yeah. He wrote the C.H.U.D 2, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He wrote Troll, Dolls, Spellcaster. He wrote Noah? Wait a fucking second. Okay, a different Noah.
I was going to say, that was a real glow up for that guy.
He also wrote The Ten Commandments, 2007's The Ten Commandments.
Sure. A
cartoon with Ben Kingsley and Christian Slater that apparently exists. Oh, and he's, yeah. He is based on characters created for the upcoming movie simply titled Shrunk. So that's something to look forward to.
Oh, good.
But yeah, writer C.H.U.D 2. Yeah, I think, so we're going to expect the humor of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids plus C.H.U.D.
Yeah, I'm looking at a bunch of screenshots. This looks like shit.
Looks like a lot of shit. I'm very excited.
This looks like some superheated space garbage.
Yeah. I mean...
So we got that to look forward to.
Yeah, this is our future, you know?
Oof. The C.H.U.Ds and C.H.U.D 2, dear listener, they look like zombies with shark teeth.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
They're just people wearing corpse paint.
Yep. It looks bare minimum.
Yeah.
Looks bare minimum. It looks like they didn't even pay for a special effects person.
It looks like a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah. So that's... I mean, we made this decision, Tom. No one told us to watch C.H.U.D and C.H.U.D 2.
That's true. I don't know. I thought it was going to be more fun than it was.
I guess it makes sense because you hear about C.H.U.D as a reference, but you don't really hear about C.H.U.D as a movie.
That's true. You don't. It's a touchstone, but not for really any of its qualities as a film.
No. It's just people like the term C.H.U.D. It's funny.
Mm-hmm. And the idea of sewer mutants.
Yeah.
That aren't ninjas.
But like as a movie, apparently Robert Downey Jr. really likes this movie.
Okay. Is he in it somewhere?
No. But maybe we'll get a remake with Robert Downey Jr., you know?
Oh man,
Can
I
only
hope
hope.
so. I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, he in an interview he said, "I love C.H.U.D." The direct quote from Robert Downey Jr.
That's perfect.
I mean, sure. Oh, it's an interview from Collider.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Collider broke the story that Robert Downey Jr. loves C.H.U.D. So yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else to say about C.H.U.D?
No, I'm still trying to puzzle out that Al Pacino connection.
I don't know, man. I
Who knows?
They
what's
must know each
there.
other or something. This has been a wild ride. And we're only halfway through the C.H.U.D series.
Yeah, the C.H.U.D-verse.
The C.H.U.D-verse.
Oh man, yes.
I don't know, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
You can check out C.H.U.D on Amazon Prime or wherever C.H.U.D is sold.
Or wherever C.H.U.Ds are available.
Yeah, I don't think this movie's hurting anybody, right?
No. It's fairly insensitive to the homeless population, but
yeah, well, in the sense that it forgets about
it totally
them
forgets
through.
about them, yeah.
But it doesn't like the depiction of homeless. They don't make them all jabbering maniacs. Just one of them.
Yeah, just one of them.
But like it felt like it didn't feel like a particularly insensitive portrayal.
No, that's true. It's not egregious.
Which is why, again, I'm saying it's not hurting anybody. That doesn't mean it's helping anybody.
No, yeah, it's certainly not helping, but it's also not hurting.
It's not. You can watch this film. A person can watch this film, unless I'm forgetting something egregious. But
I don't think so. Even John Hurd is. I mean, his character's kind of a dick, but he's like fairly woke for a dude in 1984.
I liked his answer. His answering machine message was, I think I wrote it down. We'll spare you the agony of a cute little message, but you're free to leave one if you'd like, or something like that.
Yeah. And
it was like, oh, what a piece of shit message.
Yeah, fuck you.
You pretentious fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked his role in it.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody does a good job. I thought Daniel Stern's killing it.
Yeah, of course.
They really make him look like a ghoul. Like Daniel Stern, he's a weird looking guy, but like he's not like a ghoul. And in this, he's a ghoul.
He's very ghoulish.
Yeah, he's got like really big hair, and he looks disgusting.
He's got a big silver tooth.
Yeah, he's a real fucking ghoul. It's great.
Just shambling through this movie like a crazed scarecrow.
It's weird because he works at a homeless shelter, but he's not a homeless man.
No,
but he's dressed like he's dressed like he's suffering hard times. His shelter doesn't look so great either.
Right, it's clear he's of extremely limited means.
Which kind of makes him a great hero.
Yeah.
Like, I do like, again, if they followed through, I like that he's like, hey, these are my people, and they're dying.
Mm-hmm.
We needed an ending that reflected that, and not him fucking doing like a crash roll and shooting a truck
a guy's fucking chest, and then it blows up.
What the fuck?
Oh, man, what an ending.
Yeah, what an ending. What a weird fucking movie.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, folks, thanks again for listening.
Yeah.
Who's our patron for this one? I believe it's Nolan Mayton. Thank you very much. This was through our Patreon. If you're interested, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We have exclusive podcasts there, like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac. We have we have a bunch of new podcasts coming up too that I don't think we should tell people what they are. They should just try to figure it out. Right?
Yeah, sure.
They should just show up and confuse people.
Yeah, see what it is. Just,
But we'll be watching we'll be having podcasts about new movie series coming up. We have some weird podcasts coming up. We have a lot. We got a lot going on, Tom, you and I.
Yeah.
We're real busy guys.
We're real movers and or shakers.
Yeah, moving and shaking. We're eating those coins.
Mm-hmm.
We're eating those
Shoving
coins.
them right in our maws.
Yeah.
Our greedy maws.
Yeah.
We also have a store, tpublic.com/store/gamefullyunemployed, where you can get t-shirts, mugs, stickers, masks, prints, all kinds of stuff. Check it out if you're keen.
Like Prince, the now deceased singer.
The deceased musician.
We got
him.
parts
We got
of
him.
Prince.
We have his immortal spirit.
Yep. They're in everything we make. Can't you tell?
Mm-hmm.
We're the embodiment.
Yeah, we are.
We ooze raw sexuality.
Yeah,
in everything we do.
Absolutely, 100%. Particularly when we're talking for an hour about C.H.U.D.
The sexiest movie ever made.
This is the horniest movie ever made.
Aw, C.H.U.D.
Fucking C.H.U.D. I think that's enough.
All right. Later.
Bye.
Duology Theater is brought to you by Gamefully Unemployed. Check out our cool shit at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed.